Hey everybody! I just put on my Superman glasses. This is Brent.
Clark
you can
Kent
tell
glasses.
that's Bryce. I'm sure that's correct. Thank you for correcting that mistake. We're gonna this episode 61, and thanks for coming along on the ride. By the way, there's apparently some intro that needs to take place in these things, and I don't remember until halfway through it.
Doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, and I may have. I'm Brent. That's Bryce. You know the drill at this point. If not, look down here. There's some names down there, probably spelled correctly. Bryce has received something here lately, a device that I kind of wanted. I wanted to win it. I didn't want to buy it because, I've got a mixer, but it's the Rode. Say the whole name. I can't remember all the parts of the name. What's the whole name again? The Rode what?
Well, you have a mixer. What do you have? A Behringer?
Behringer, I think 1202, I think.
What is it? Do you remember the model? Okay. So I don't own a mixer. I used to. And I thought it was great, but I sold it because it was a large one and it sat in the corner. I do regret selling it, but you can't live in the past. Hey, there it is. Putting it to good use
up here
on this podcast.
I don't know what
right in front of your
off.
face is best.
This was leading to, but
yeah.
The reason why I'm not using it, just started to cut you off. I'm sorry. This, it seemed as if anyway, it was introducing a buzz or a hum. And I didn't take the time to figure out what part of either this or how it was connecting to the computer was causing that. And so now it's been removed. This current microphone that I'm using, the Blue Yeti, is USB, so it wouldn't work with this anyway. I'd have to use another interface to get it to this. So that's another. I do use this for other engagements, but anyway. So just wanted to toss that out there. I'm curious if you'd come across and if you're playing with it, if you've noticed anything similar to that, or just whatever you generally want to talk about regarding the product, the Rode.
That was a lot of ramble just to get there.
Smooth transition.
And I didn't even get most of it because your connection is a little poor. Or maybe it's mine. I like to blame yours. So what Brent is talking about is not me personally, but here at work, we purchased the RodeCASTER Pro. I always get the name wrong because I just want to say podcaster. RodeCASTER Pro. It's meant for podcasters, those hillbilly podcasters. It's a digital mixer, 4 XLR inputs, and then multiple other kinds. You can look them up to get the full specs. And the whole idea with it is you could be sitting at a table, 4 people talking. There's 4 headphone jacks in the back. And then everyone has their own headphone dial. If someone has worse hearing than the other person, you can turn a microphone up separately. You have 8, I think, pads on the side that you can assign audio to. And then you, of course, have some other connections as well, phone and Bluetooth. And you can even enable mix minus inside of the digital interface, which is cool. On some devices, I don't even know if yours supports it, but on some of them, it's like you have to kind of plug in here and loop it over there and do some other stuff. And others just simply have a button. So this one has it built into the interface. Maybe one day we'll get to the point to where we'll need that. But for now, this weirdness is good. As to the quality, it seems like it's pretty doggone good. When I left work, not yesterday, but the day before, we're recording this on a Friday. So Wednesday, I got a picture text from a gentleman that I work with, and it was just a picture of the box sitting on my desk. And so, of course, I was all giddy coming in the next day. I almost came in that evening. But I came in the other day, grabbed it, put it behind my computer area, which is a mess. Like, if you look at this, I wish my desk was this clean. One day. I need to organize it. But anyways, so I put it on top of everything else. And then I took it home that evening, and a couple guys looked at me, right? Why is he taking work stuff home? But I wanted to play with it and learn it a little bit. So I hooked up my phone directly I hooked up just some standard earbuds, the Apple ones that come with headphones, to the front, and that's the main kind of a monitoring headphone. Plugged in my computer via USB. The device has a USB-C, but then it comes with a USB-C to USB-A cable, and so that goes into your computer. I don't think I had any other things set up in it. I don't have all my stuff unboxed yet, so I don't know where the XLR mics are and stuff like that at home. I mean, I know where they are, but there's a series of boxes to go through. So I didn't pull any of that out to do any of those tests. So I can't give a full-on review right now. But what I did do with it is just simply played music, as well as some talking head stuff through my phone, through it. Did it from the computer, through it. Everything is nice and fluid. It reacts well. One thing that's pretty interesting, the keypads, you can assign it via a file on the computer, or if you have a phone or someone else with a microphone or even a YouTube video on the computer, on the interface itself, it's a touch screen. You can tap it, select which one of the pads you want to use, and then the button at the bottom turns to record. You hit play on your computer as an example. Then you hit record, like the old days with the cassettes. I had to play and record at the same time. Then you'd play the clip, however long you want it, and then you'd hit stop on the device. And then every time you'd hit that keypad, it would play that. So you're actually recording it. And it is based off of the volume slider. So if you have it maxed out, so the input is coming in super hot, it's going to record really loud. But if you have it really low, it's not. So like the iPhone, back when it had the dot connector, I think the Lightning does the same thing. If you're plugged in via that to a set of speakers, the device is the phone is just giving you everything. So it's up to your speaker system to turn it up or down. Well, down, really, because up is it's giving you up as up can be. So this, you can tone it down a little bit. You can record it really hot, and that'll give you a lot of headroom, or in this case, legroom, I guess, because it's all underneath. But so it's kind of neat, the interface there. Simple to get up and running. I plan on using it for an event. We're still in May, so I plan on using it for an event in the beginning of August. You okay over there? We have a lot of plans to use audio video stuff in our department going forward. So hopefully we'll get a chance to do it internally. But at the same time, I want to be able to bring it on here and show it. It's still in the box at my desk when I brought it back in this morning. And this was kind of an impromptu topic. And so, but it is super cool. So for me, the question, I think I answered the same question back when I reviewed the Surface Book. I liked it, but it costs more than it should. I don't know. I can't really say yet. It's like $5.99 or something like that. It's not inexpensive. And, when you can get a mixer like yours for about $100, you get a Yamaha mixer that does probably very similar, maybe a hair more things for $200, $600 for all of this. Oh, and it does have a micro SD card slot in the back. So you can just hit the record button. You don't even need a computer, right? So that's nice. The Bluetooth connection can be used for a phone / Skype call. So that's kind of neat. So it takes away these other devices that you would need if you needed a computer for this Skype connection. Well, now you don't. Just use your phone or your tablet, hook it up via Bluetooth. Boom, done. So I see why they're throwing the price in there. But $600 for me, if it were my $600, it's a bit steep. I would gladly pay $300 for it. I would gladly win it, which you and I both failed to do, along with the entire planet, minus 3 people. Only 3 people won. There was a contest when it first came out. They were giving away the RodeCASTER Pro, and you just had to align certain things based off of how they set it in a video or whatever. And apparently, only 3 people out of the, I don't know, like however many millions put in things got it right. So that's crazy.
I'd have to guess that they that was just regarding that contest, because I watched that video 100 times. I'm fairly certain my order was correct. So I think it was a draw out of a hat thing. I think they stated in the rules, the very limited wording of the rules, that basically everybody that got it right would win. But that wasn't obviously, well, I say obviously, they didn't release the notes of what you said. And I never saw the end result of, what they said was 1 through whatever.
Yeah, they
to
tweeted
compare mine
it.
against. But,
they tweeted it.
Oh, did they? Oh,
Yep.
I didn't see that part.
And I think they put it on the winners page as well when they listed the 3 winners at the bottom. Maybe there were 4. So the rules stated anybody that submits an entry and doesn't break any of the other rules and gets everything correct wins. Then it was asked via a tweet to Rode, anybody? What if there's 100,000 people who get it right? The reply back from Rode was, then there's 100,000 winners. So, they knew it was tricky enough to make that number drop significantly. And I too thought, at least when I submitted the first couple, because I submitted a few, that it was based off of the main initial video that announced it and rolled through the features. But then when you read the instructions on the contest, it was not just that video. It was any posting that they put about it. Apparently, the way I was told, and another podcast that I watched kind of explained, so I'm assuming they're right, I don't know, based off of the overarching theme, this item was mentioned first most of the time. This item was mentioned second most of the time. So someone really had to have some sort of Venn diagram type thing going on to really, and thus only 3 winners. But, to boil all that silliness down, we didn't win, and work with a bunch of guys who tried. None of us won. I think one guy in Australia, one guy in America, and one guy in somewhere else. I don't remember what it was. But it is, it's a super cool device. It does a lot within its life. It's heavy for its size, but not like overly burdensomely heavy. I didn't hear any hiss, but again, I was just simply using the headphones that come with an iPhone. So, your mileage may vary, not the highest quality. The test will be when I do some more stuff internally here. And I'm trying to, there are some things that are coming up where I'll need a camera and a microphone, and I wouldn't need to use the RodeCASTER, but I might still use it just as a way to squeeze it in and play with it a little bit more. But I might not get the opportunity. So we'll see. But the more I play with it, the more I'll talk about it. I do plan on one day bringing it and
with
showing
the way
it.
that it,
what's that?
With the way that it records to itself, on that SD card, that's a nice feature, because it basically could replace a. I just had the name and then I lost it. There's a lot of them, but there's one specific, the one that I was talking about. Anyway, the devices where you have
H4 or whatever they call.
Right, the various Zoom
or
H's.
H5, whatever they are. Yeah.
Well, they've got different ones depending on how many, I think, connections also, or how new it is. Maybe it's the version, I don't recall, but it could replace that. Obviously, a lot larger than that, but it does a lot more. So it's that's probably one of the things that tosses that price up. But I could see it being handy in the currency you're talking about, where you just need a camera really and a microphone, but you don't have to worry about how you're going to record that audio. So
yeah, and in our
nice to have
case,
that built in.
We do videos, so we need to worry about the videos and pull it all together. But if you're just doing an audio podcast, you just need a couple microphones. The downside to the XLR jacks is that they're only XLR. Sometimes in your mixer, I think is one of them. When you look at the XLR jacks, there's a hole in the middle. So that's so you can fit a 1/4-inch phone jack in there as well. This doesn't have that. It's just XLR. So if you have, I can't see. Just tell me yes or no. Does it have a phone?
I was waiting till I got the microphone turned on. It does not have it in here. These are straight XLR, but underneath it, there's a separate plug.
Okay, so same
You're
idea.
talking about a hole in the middle.
Yeah, some of them, to save space, it's one connector. There's a name for it. I don't remember what it is, but it has the 3-pin holes and then a hole in the middle so that you can use it all. This doesn't have that. Matter of fact, there are no 1/4-inch inputs. So if you have a lesser expensive microphone, I don't want to say a cheap microphone, but a lesser expensive microphone that has just the 1/4-inch on the other side, you'll need to get a 1/4-inch to XLR adapter to use it. So, that's a downside. But I guess what they're doing is they want you to use their new RodeCASTER microphone, which is a cool little slick little device. It's not terribly expensive, but again, I don't need it. So, but ultimately, it's a great device that hopefully we get a chance to use.
I forgot that just to have a visual of what you're talking about, the Ceramonic has those types of connectors. So
there you go. Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to aim it at the camera.
Show
too.
the camera. It's more important. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take a picture of it if it doesn't come out clear because the camera's probably focusing on my face. But
it's probably out of focus. Yeah.
Which would be usual for me.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, it seems like a great device so far. It's getting rave reviews. Rode has knocked it out of the park with this guy. It's not on battery power. You have to use mains. It is a locking plug, so that's kind of neat. And so that's important. People who do a mobile podcast type thing, if you're in various locations for your podcast, the battery powered Zoom microphones / recorders are coming more handy, are more convenient. Especially if you're outside somewhere and you don't have access to a plug. If you have access to a plug, then you can still, I guess, plug this in with long cables and whatnot. But so there's definitely, this doesn't solve all the problems, but it's Rode. You never know. They might be working right now on a smaller condensed version that does have a battery pack built in. Knowing Rode, it'll be a 9-volt, but still, it'll whatever. So that's my Ghetto review at the moment. I will be hopefully playing with it soon. If I have time, which I'm going to say right now, I probably won't, at least anytime soon, I'll do a legit review with stuff plugged in and things. But if anyone who's watching this, if anybody's watching this, just, YouTube and do a search for RodeCASTER Pro, or go to Google or Bing or DuckDuckGo or AltaVista, whatever you use, and type in RodeCASTER Pro. You'll get the company's website, but what I recommend is looking at other people, other podcasters who use that type of equipment. Look at what they're doing, how they're using it, because some of them are using it very straightforward, and then some of them are, they're really using it outside of the box. Literally, pull it out of the box, but they're using it in a way that Rode really didn't and that's the gig I'll be doing in August. I'll be using it as a mixer. I won't be using it as a podcasting thing. I might hit the record button just to kind of play with that a little bit. Oh, and the record button, it's a gigantic button. You can't miss it. It says record, but you can configure it. It wasn't this way initially. Everybody complained about it, and then Rode updated their firmware and put it in. You can record each track individually now. So you can tell it, give me just an MP3 file, and everything is, boom, slammed into either a mono or stereo output, or give me a DAW, I think it is, DAW file, that has all of the tracks that you can then edit, remove people altogether, adjust the volume individually. If one person seemed a bit low the whole time and no matter what they did, it wasn't going high enough, you can change those things in post. So that's kind of neat. Super cool. It's a great feature. And it was great as a company that they added it. So there it goes. There it is. That's my extended digital review, Ghetto digital review that if I get $600 and I absolutely don't need to go somewhere else, I'll probably get that. But that's unlikely. That's actually going to happen. So,
would you see yourself, or could you see yourself using it with this particular outfit here, that this Twins Talk Tech setup? Would you be able to add it to what you've got going on there?
Not our current setup, no. I mean, yes, because it's just audio. So I could, as an example, I could work my setup to where that both my audio and your audio join together, and then I put it in the video. That way your audio is always fine and I can edit it. All I need is your video. But I mean, it's more convenient for me I've already got to download your video. You might as well edit your audio, So that puts more work on me. Now, what I would love to do is if I had a larger screen over to the side of me, a la the Twit Network and a few other places like that do podcasts where people aren't next to them. We could do Skype, or we can do, what are we doing? FaceTime. And then, so you would be like right here or here, and I'd be where I am. And the audio would be coming through, mix minus, using that system to come through, and then recording. So if we were to ever go to that route, or maybe have an interview type style where someone would be interviewing but not here with me, then, that would be beneficial. Because if you're going to interview somebody, you don't want to, although many people do, you don't want to have to say, hey, by the way, can you spend 45 minutes editing that and send it over to me? You put the burden on yourself. So that it would be beneficial there. I currently have other things that would make that work, make that feasible. But this podcaster, RodeCASTER Pro, would really just through the roof. So currently, no, maybe in the future. Anything else you want to talk about?
Not particularly right now. Nope,
okay.
Nothing comes to mind.
Last week I mentioned, and I asked Brent to look it up. He did and got back with me, but unfortunately I wasn't here, that we were going to talk about the new boroscope that I purchased. And I still want to talk about it. I haven't had a chance to use it yet because we just moved into a place and the box was under something. And then we moved that pile of something somewhere else. And so when I went to use it / test it and play with it, I couldn't find it. I just found it a couple of days ago. I know exactly where it is right now. I will hopefully, if I get a chance, depending on my wife's schedule for me, be able to use it in the way that it's intended. The reason I bought it is to look down on the wall for any fire stops and do I need to drill anything or whatever. And it has the ability to record AVI. Why on earth are they still using AVI? I don't know. But I'll record some stuff to get some quality from it. I did do some initial stuff. It's supposedly, 6 or 9 feet is the focus distance. Focus, it's focus-ish. You can tell it's human. You know what I mean? If you're pointing it in a certain direction. If you're pointing in a wall where it's just, you're not going to get that distance. But if you focus it really close, then the quality shoots through the roof. It's pretty spectacular. It'd be nice if the whole thing was like that, but it isn't. And it says it does 1080p. No. It does mildly okay upscale. 720 probably is what it does. But adequate for my needs. It was still inexpensive. So I'll bring that in after hopefully playing with it this weekend because I got to do some more work around the house. So no promises, but I'll probably talk about that next week. And you have one too, so we can compare.
Yep.
Sure. All right. Well, thanks for showing up. Thanks for watching the whole thing, because we know you did. And we say it now for the special few that actually did. We don't want to say it earlier, make other people feel good when they didn't clearly watch the whole thing. You did. We appreciate that. And what is this, episode 61? So
yes, sir.
Next week, or the next time we record it, will be probably the next one in line, 62. That's how it works. So until then, you have a lovely evening or night or morning or afternoon, whatever it might be. Ciao.
Bye-bye.